Although my first HO scale layout had a lifespan of 5 years, very little scenic work was accomplished. While I could easily blame a lack of time, the true problem was lack of motivation. The difference between running model trains and operating model trains was the issue for me. I also felt the crowded bench work and amount of layouts in my train room space was somewhat of a downside. The track plan was essentially a loop, and little thought had gone into doing anything other than running trains around in circles. The new layout would still involve having a train or two running in circles, but would also include plenty of opportunities for switching and serving several industries. With a more open benchwork plan that would be more comfortable to move around in, along with an actual drawn-out track plan, I went to work on my second attempt in HO scale, and in fact my current model railroad. Fortunately, I was able to salvage most of the track, and with a wide putty knife, break the hot glue bond under the foam inclines and risers from the plywood and save most of them as well. The track plan would basically be a loop at both ends, with one loop featuring an over-under version and the other loop being open. A peninsula would connect where a decent-sized stub-ended yard would be located. The Chessie system and Lehigh Valley would run trains on the main line, with the LV having trackage rights, but the LV would also have its own end-to-end line, with a small yard at the visible portion of the layout and a staging yard that I would hide in a closet which adjoined the train room. Focal points would include a busy junction, a paper products company, and a coal mine. A cement plant would also be located on the Lehigh Valley line. A small yard of sorts would allow the LV to access the main line and would be the location for the Chessie engine facilities. One lesson learned on the first layout was that the sound-equipped locomotives sound better when the trackwork is laid out on foam boards. Also, although the Atlas Code 80 turnouts were decent, the points would move easily, and unless I pinned most of them, or installed switch machines, which I wasn't planning on doing, the risk of derailments increased. Thus, beyond what was salvaged from the first layout, wherever I needed a new one, I decided to use the Pico brand Electrofrog turnouts, which snap securely in the position of choice. Eventually, I had most of the track work in place, and for a short while, I ran some trains and visualized how the layout would look with scenery. I also pondered the big question, if I would be satisfied with everything to the point where I would be motivated to stick with it. The decision was yes, and although this layout was altered and modified over the last few years, it remains my current layout. My next big step, which is the next chapter of this series, was to try my hand at serious scenery. Appalachian paper products and the surrounding area would be first.